everybody. Welcome back to the podcast. It's the host, Sean, and I'm all set. And we have lovely Marilyn with us once again, my fabulous co-host. And, we were just talking before we got on the air here how unprepared we are. And I think we're pretty terrible right now. We're just trying to figure this all out. But as I told Marilyn, it's better just to get out here and just do the recording regardless. But I promise it's going to get better. We're going to get this all worked out at some point.
Don't worry, Sean, one step at a time. We can get what we want.
That's right. So we've been doing a lot of research on, I think we have like a good kind of feel for what we're trying to go for, but we're busy looking at other podcasters and other elements that we want to that we like about other podcasts, and looking at our first one that we put out already, and it seems there's kind of some dead space. Didn't it seem kind of dead in the middle on the last one? Mm-hmm. Yeah, it just seemed I don't know. It was like the beginning was good, the end was good, but the middle kind of just went off into, I don't know. It got very weird for a minute there, but. All these things come with time. I was telling Marilyn that looking at some of the big podcasters, like if you look at some of like Joe Rogan, she doesn't know who Joe Rogan is, by the way, which is mind blowing to me. Number one podcaster on earth, and she doesn't know who he is. But that seems to be pretty normal. Yeah, you don't really. There's a good question: is do Filipinos really keep? Do they really pay attention to what's going on in other countries?
Some of the Filipino is very interested as well to other countries too. But I don't think if all of the Filipino is interested, because especially those people living in provinces, something like that, they don't have idea about um, let's say for example celebrities
Yeah.
out there, yeah, or
Yeah.
international famous actors, actresses,
Yeah. Yeah.
or any kind of topic,
Yeah. Yeah. You would you say that the average Filipino actually follows like global pop culture or no?
I think it's because yes, I think yes, because the social media right now is very convenient.
Right. Right. Right.
Like yeah, for example, if you open Facebook, you can see a lot of reels, and then you'll be able to know what's happening to other country or other places.
Right. Right. Right.
Yeah,
Right. But okay, so the thing, so I guess the question is you don't really follow a lot of Western pop culture.
I don't. I would be honest.
See, okay, so you think that Filipinos do, but you don't. You were also telling me how like that you just don't do anything for fun. You just work and then go home and then work again and then
That's
go home.
right.
Like, where's how old are you, Marilyn?
I'm 27.
27, and you have no fun. Can you believe that Marilyn doesn't watch movies of all things? Like, no movies. Like, I mean, so you don't even you don't watch them. You just don't even really care for them, do you?
I don't.
No. Let me ask you this: what's the Incognito? Do you watch Incognito?
Incognito is a private browser, right?
No, I don't know. It's just
Incognito movies.
there's that Filipino
A Filipino.
show.
I just
Whatever.
watched the trailer.
But you don't actually watch.
But the movie, no.
Really? Okay, so you don't. So you really do you even have a TV, or do you just not you just don't even care?
I don't care. Actually, I just moved into my house
Mm-hmm.
recently, so I'm still figuring out what I need to, set up. So I haven't buy any appliances yet.
We don't have any appliances yet.
I don't have AC, just AC, laptop, and what else? Cooking tools.
Really?
Yeah, something like that.
See,
Yeah.
and I can't even stress to you on how like how foreign that is to a Western mindset. And I have seen that in multiple places like that. That like if you guys just don't have certain things in your house, you're like, no big deal. But like here in the West, like you people would not dream of moving and living in a house that didn't have like all of the
Mm-hmm.
basic appliances. Like it's like there's no houses here anymore in the U.S. that don't have internet, TV, um,
Mm-hmm.
like I mean, like, there's some that don't have washing machines, I guess, but that's even like
Mm-hmm.
very very rare. Washers and dryers, like everybody has them. A stove, a refrigerator. Like you don't have a refrigerator?
I do, but I give it to my relatives. I don't want to, bring my stuffs to the new house. So what I'm planning is, I need to buy a new refrigerator, new appliances.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Because I do rented an apartment before, so
Uh huh.
all of those stuffs I already have.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I, yeah, completely I do have. But I give it to, relatives or friends
Right, right, right,
so
right.
that they can use it. I don't want to bring too much.
Wait, no, no, like I said, I
It's
totally.
hard to move, especially if you're just moving alone.
Right, right. And see that is
Yeah.
something that's something also to like keep in mind is like so here in the West we're very much so used to like whatever level. I mean like even me, like I have a pickup truck. Like everybody has like either pickup trucks or they have friends that have pickup trucks, or you can just go to your local hardware store,
Hmm.
big box hardware store, like the big stores, and you can rent moving vehicles and U-Hauls and just big whatever. So moving is like, or you can just pay somebody and they will move you. You know what I mean? Like
Hmm.
there's a million ways to get things places, and I know that
Hmm.
there like the whole process of moving is like it's a real difficult thing to do.
Hmm.
Like we were just talking about. So we were in the middle of conversation, and then all of a sudden, Maryland's internet went out, and like that is something definitely for for a Western audience, especially when you're trying to do. That was one of my concerns about doing a podcast. Like in two countries, right, apart from each other, right? So we're not in the same room, just being where we can just do it and record it, and then it doesn't even matter then because then we don't even need
Exactly.
internet. But but doing it like this, so I would say this is also a good thing, and I would say that to the point of that anybody from the West that would be watching it will like understand that that is just how it is in the Philippines, right? Is that
Hmm.
you can like you can go have brownouts and no internet just shut off and but I found it to be same thing. I found it to be um like it was like it, I don't know here like I was saying that it is if we lost our internet and our power the way that you guys do in the Philippines, everybody
Hmm.
here would go absolutely crazy. And I find it to be kind of refreshing because I always say even in my singular short form videos that I put out all the time, that like being able to you guys take it all in stride. Do you guys? There's a good question. Do you guys even get mad? Do you guys get mad about that? Do you get mad about the internet or the power, or do you guys have like get upset about it, or do you guys just go like, whatever?
Actually, we get upset about it.
Do
But
you?
yes, but we don't have choice. Even though we complain, it's just happened. So yeah.
Right. Well, and like it's so funny is everybody I've ever talked to, even when I'm there and the power just goes out and the internet goes out, I wonder if I often wonder if that's like a thing of because I'm a foreigner and because I only see people for brief amounts of time because I was just like everybody's response is always it's just more fun in the Philippines. Like it's just what
More
everybody says.
fun.
It's just more fun in the Philippines. Oh, that's why you
Even
don't have
though
any
we're
power.
upset, we don't have choice. That just having fun.
Yeah, but nobody ever gets. But nobody ever seems to be
Yeah.
like here. People would it would ruin somebody's whole day if the power goes out or if the internet goes out. Like we
Hmm.
completely lose our minds, and that's one thing. Like when I was over there, when I saw that I was hanging out in the province, and they had a brownout for like a whole day, and everybody just got together
Mhm.
and just started cooking outside and hanging out, and they
Yeah.
just kept it going. It wasn't even like it was a big deal. Everybody
Yeah,
here
that's right.
like would be just they would just be furious sitting in their houses by themselves, and it would just be crazy. It would absolutely like
Mhm.
they would hate it, and the complaints and everybody would go crazy here. But there, I think once again, I think it's great that you guys. I mean, do you live close to your family, or are they far away?
They're far away now because I'm living in Cavite and they're living some is in Masbate and then my mother is still here in Manila, but it's kind of far. It's like 5 hours away from my place.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
And
if you but and
talking
what do
about
you
yeah,
go no
talking
go ahead
about
go ahead.
brown out, yeah. In
Mm-hmm.
Masbate, like every day there's a lot of power interruption.
Every day.
So yeah, every day. So I think Phoebe is using a generator to, um, stay connected with the internet.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. When I'm doing calls with Phoebe, she does that a lot. Like all of a sudden she'll be like, "Oh, the power just went out," and then I'll only have, and then she has a generator going that just keeps her internet up and keeps the her
The
laptop going.
uh
So all I can see is just I can only see her face because I can see the screen, the glow from the screen on her face. That's all I can see. And but once again, that's all everybody says is it's more fun in the Philippines. It doesn't seem like anybody gets mad. I always wonder that like if I'm over there after I'm over there for like a year and I'm settled into a place, like would I actually would I see a different side? Will the Filipinos personality will the overall Filipino personality change after I've after I'm there permanently? You know what I mean? Will it be different then?
uh
That what do you think? Do you think it would be different?
I think no.
You, so do you think that do you think that Filipinos will always treat a foreigner like a foreigner, or do you think they'll ever treat them like one of the I mean not a Filipino obviously, but like 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 you get their full personality? Do you think there's always going to be like a level of distance, like an outsider kind of thing?
No, Filipino personality is um l- okay, so for example, you already have friends I mean, you're getting friends with your neighbor or places somewhere nearby to your location. They're I mean, they value it. So I don't think if
Hmm.
they change it, I mean, the what do you call that? We called it here pakikisama or the band together.
Mm.
Yeah,
See, man, and that right there, that's what we're missing, right? That is what we're missing here. It just there's
yeah.
none of that here.
That's our
None of
advantage
that.
from the Western people because we really valued the friendship and also the what do you call that? Because we're more concerned to the emotional connection to people. You
Right.
know that?
Right.
Yeah, that's how Filipino works.
Right. Right. And then
Yeah.
in here we don't we like I said it's really that's one thing I've always said is like like the Filipino, like let's say obviously you're off on your own and doing your own thing and everything, and that's awesome,
Uh-huh.
right? But if things failed for you, if they just completely failed, you could always go home.
Yes,
Like
exactly.
all you could
That's
always go
right.
home. Do you know here
You're
in the West
so
that is
welcome.
100% not the case. It's kind of like once our kids reach a certain age and they settle out on their own, it's like basically as soon as they turn 18, oh my goodness, as soon as they turn 18, it's like yeah, that's it. Like it's like you're counting down the days until they leave,
Uh-huh.
and then it's considered. It's like
Uh-huh.
It's like as a culture. This is not me personally, but as a culture, we look at it like it's okay, now you're on your own, and if you fail,
You need to be
sorry
independent.
about your luck, you fail. Yeah, you fail. Like if
Yeah,
you
right.
fail, you fail, and then it's like looked down. It's looked down upon, and I think that is such a huge downfall for our culture, right? Like, I mean, that's the reason why we have
Right.
so much like homelessness, we have so much drug usage, we have so much
Mm-hmm.
like uh, just so many bad things come from that because like literally when children leave and they're and even they have even pressure from their peers, right?
Mm-hmm.
If they're not in your if they don't leave home by a certain time, it's considered disgraceful and bad and like everything, and they're looked down on by their peers or looked down on by your family. You're looked everybody looks down on you, so it's like, and then if you have to come back home, it's not like everything I've seen is that when a Filipino comes back home, everybody's like, that's great, you're home, cool,
Mm-hmm.
and they're happy that you're home. But
Mm-hmm.
not here,
Yeah.
not at all. If you have to go back home, it's like, oh my goodness, and it's like, well, why are you here? And I have been um a person that's I've I have been of that mindset, right? When that's I left home when I was uh 17, right? And
Mm-hmm.
that was it, right? You know what I mean? And then
Mm-hmm.
I came back home. I think twice, but it was only for like a month or two. And the whole time, the parents were like, "You got to go, like you
Mm-hmm.
can't be here. You're like you got to get out." And it
Mm-hmm.
creates this thing that it creates so much pressure on young people, and then it makes them feel like I said, so people would rather go and be homeless than to come back home with your family because you're just not welcome there, right? Not like that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's very wild, and it's something like I said
Yeah.
that's a huge downfall for us here. But yeah,
Yeah.
you guys
It's
don't
totally different with here in the Philippines because actually here like for if you have relatives that is working like let's say for example in America, Canada, or all over the places outside the Philippines.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
and
yeah.
then when they come home, we do usually have this culture where we can have a family reunion.
Right, right,
Yeah,
right, right, right.
that's one of
Yeah, and
our
everybody's just like I said. Everybody's mm, go ahead.
biggest
Oh,
culture that we value.
yeah, absolutely, and yeah, and here it just can't it can't be any more like I like it's almost like it's one of those things that I have been um like I have some guilt honestly about that, right?
Mm,
Like after seeing other cultures like the Philippines and going there and then seeing how the interaction is um between even parents and children,
mhm,
and I see how it is here, and then I see how it is there, and it really and honestly made me feel like my goodness, like it like we're terrible here. Like I think we're
exactly.
terrible to each other. I think we're terrible, even even though it's a cultural terrible. It's like it's not like we're intentionally being mean, right?
Mm,
We're not trying to be mean to our children. It's just the way things are here, and that's just what you're it's just what you're supposed to do. So
mhm,
until you actually see something different, you don't even know that you're doing something that's not right, right?
mhm,
Because that's just what you're brought up in, and you think
mhm.
that that's the right way to do it. But then you start you get somebody like me that starts to travel and starts to see other things, and then you're like, oh man, no, this is a horrible way to do this. Like that's just it's not okay.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know. I mean, I can't even imagine. I mean, what like
And
you would
not
be
just in the
shocked.
Philippines, Sean.
Yeah.
I think it's around Asia. So cultures around Asia, we have similarities in terms of family culture. We
Yeah. Oh
really
yeah.
value.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You've been
Absolutely.
in Thailand before, right? But
Yeah.
even in Thailand, they also value the importance of the family.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Mhm.
Because I've actually have you been outside of the Philippines before?
Hong Kong,
You've been to Hong Kong. Yeah.
yeah,
I've been to Hong Kong as well. Yes, I have.
mhm,
Yeah.
Disneyland.
Oh, yeah, you went to Disneyland. Oh, okay. All right. Fair enough. Yeah, I've been to Hong Kong. I've been to Japan. I've been to Thailand. I've been to obviously the Philippines. I've been to Vietnam. I've been to
Hanoi.
I've been to Laos.
Oh,
Mm,
Laos.
yeah, and
Oh.
like so yeah like but yeah so I've been to quite a few countries over there already. Over in the over in East uh in the Asian countries, and like but yeah I've also I've done quite a bit of traveling, which is something which is was almost shocking to me when I went to the Philippines and I was like, oh my goodness, this is where I want to go, right? I want to move here, like because I've been to
Mhm.
all these other places and I've been to a bunch of them where I'm like, oh, I would like to come back and visit, right? I had a great time. I want to go and do that again.
Mhm.
Um, but it's the first country I ever went to that I was like, this is where. That's the reason why, because a lot of people from my end have like pushed and been like, are you sure this is what you want to do? And they've been like, very much so like, why would you do that? But
Mhm.
it's not like I'm like I just went out of the country one time and I was like, oh my goodness, I need to move, right? Like I've done a lot of traveling, and the Philippines was the first country I ever went to. I was like, yes, this is what I'm supposed to do.
Mhm.
Just because I fell in love with the whole thing. Like for all the good, all the bad. I mean, I've seen every variation over there. Not well
Mhm.
to the best that you can, but
Mhm.
I think it's yeah. I think it's great. Yeah. So I'm a huge
Yeah.
fan.
It's
Mm-hmm.
great. If you'll be asking me, Sean, I think it's great because you're wondering why there's a lot of foreign people or foreigner who wants to settle down in the Philippines. So yeah, and
Well, let me
based
ask you this:
on
what do you think the number? What do you think the top reasons why foreigners would want to come to the Philippines?
based on what I see on TikTok, TikTok, Facebook,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
any yeah, they love how Philippines very welcoming and kind. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah. That is you. Why
mhm.
else other than
And also the girls.
yeah, 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 yeah. And like in overall, like, do you think there's a good question is do you think that like it's and let me ask you like and as privately, do
Uh-huh.
Filipinos have a problem with uh Filipino women dating foreigners?
No,
No, like
or I can't tell too because um some of there's always a discrimination anywhere, right?
of course. Like so, we gotta always say that one, these are just
Uh-huh.
opinions. We're gonna state that very clear.
Uh-huh.
These are just opinions, and then two, it's only off of your experience, right? Like, and there's
Uh-huh.
always, and I don't care what you do, there's always bad people that say bad things and think bad things. That's
Anywhere,
no
you know
matter
that.
what you do, you're not going to get away from that. But
Uh-huh.
I'm saying overall, like, because obviously us as me as a foreigner or any other foreigners, we don't even understand the conversation. If you're having a conversation with another fellow, we don't even know if something bad is being said. We have no idea, right? We just see everybody smiling like yay, right? But we have no idea. So but I
Uh-huh.
mean, from your experience and from your perspective, what you've seen, and because in the private Filipino conversations and households, do you think that they have a problem with foreigners?
No, there's no problem with foreigner based on, um, my own perception.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I have friends. I mean, w- I cannot tell it's her husband because they're not married yet.
Married. Right. Right.
Yeah,
Right.
so I think just boyfriend. Okay,
Yeah. Yeah.
so he has a boyfriend. Um I don't think if I already mentioned it before to you.
Mm. Mm-mm.
Yeah,
Mm-mm.
yeah. I did. I think I did.
Did you? Well,
Yeah, I
but
think
guess,
I
but
did.
you know, but guess who you didn't tell? All the people listening to the podcast, so they don't know. Hey, no, now. See what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, yeah,
so
yeah, yeah.
she has a foreign boyfriend, and also of course she's she receives a lot of discrimination from other people too, because her I mean yeah, her boyfriend has a business in the Philippines, which is
Mm-hmm.
club. So one in
Mm-hmm.
Makati, and also in Pampanga.
Ah, okay. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So um
Wait. In Makati and Papanga, what kind of club does he have?
it's a nightclub where
A
you can
nightclub?
drink. Yeah, where you can
So
drink
it's not.
or
So it's not like a girly bar. It's an actual nightclub.
no, it's not.
Okay. Okay. Well,
It's just
hey,
for,
I'm looking at
hanging out.
I'm looking at the locations. Pampanga and Makati are like there's a there's a lot of the
Just
girly
for
bars in those
chill.
places.
Yeah.
Yeah, those places are. So anybody who doesn't know or hasn't been to the Philippines, if you're looking to like party like crazy, those are two of the
Mhm.
main places you're gonna go over in the Philippines. It's gonna be Pampanga
Mhm.
and Makati. Those are like yeah, every video that we see as foreigners online of like, oh my god, this place is the craziest place ever. Those are the two places everybody is every single time.
Mhm.
So yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
that's
So
yeah,
yeah,
because
so let's continue to our topic. So me as a curious friend, I asked her, "What's your experience about having a foreigner boyfriend?" So actually, she told me that it was good because foreign people is easy to deal with, you know,
mm-hmm.
because in the Philippines we have a huge understanding in terms of personality from other, we can adjust.
Yeah,
Yeah.
do you know how rare that is? Like so, and what I have found of all of the Asian cultures, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Philippines is absolutely the most welcoming to
Mm.
interracial dynamics.
Yeah.
Like
Right.
most of the Asians, and once again, this is not all of them, but most of the Asian countries are very much so like they're not necessarily
Mm-hmm.
racist, right? But they're not really big into integrating, right? Like they
Mm-hmm.
there's like a yeah, they don't mix very often. It's only that you find random ones that you can mix with. But I watch a lot of videos online from other countries and even other countries I've been to, and but also the I think the Philippines is also the one that is the most integrated in language, and I think that's probably the biggest one of the biggest reasons because if
Mm-hmm.
you
Some
go
of us
to
can speak Spanish too.
which let me tell you, it is mind blowing. It is absolutely mind blowing for an American to see like a Filipino that's speaking Spanish, right? Or a
Yeah.
Filipino that's speaking, but of course they do. You know what I mean? Like of course they
Mhm.
do. But if we see like an Asian person speaking Spanish, it's like our whole brain just blows up. We can't even process that. But I mean, how many languages do you speak?
Me, I can speak Bisaya.
Mm-hmm.
I can speak Waray. I
Mm.
can speak Tagalog. I can speak English.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, I cannot speak Ilocano. I can just understand some other words, but not
Right.
totally the conversation.
Right. But see,
Ilocano, just the Ilocano, I don't know.
but that's like four.
Yes.
That's right. You know what I mean? And Americans are absolutely, they like here. There's a whole big thing about like American women having a real problem with men going to another country and meeting a woman. You know what I mean? Like, so if I
Mhm.
went to the Philippines and I met a woman and like I would get a lot of hate, like, oh, you're doing it because you can't get a girl here. You're
Mhm.
you're going there because and they sit there and they say things about like that Filipino women are you're going because you're trying to take advantage of some dumb girl because she's from a third world country. But
Mhm.
what they don't understand is you all Filipinas have more education than the women here, right? Just more. You guys have more college amongst you guys, and
Then
and like
even. those
Yeah.
girls who aren't went to college, they have a huge understanding in terms of, um what do you call that, people.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Hmm.
like what I've said, my friend, even though she can get what she wants because her boyfriend has a business in the Philippines,
Hmm.
um she cannot deny too that she can also receive any discrimination from us, fellow Filipino.
Does she say she gets a lot of discrimination from other Filipinos?
Yeah, I think those persons who has insecurities from themselves,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
yeah,
But do
or
you think
doesn't have the
do you think there's a
um
lot of older there's a lot of older people, like if older people see like a Filipina with a foreigner, do they like turn their nose up? Do they scowl like that's no good?
um I don't know.
No.
I don't know, to be honest.
No. So yeah, because I'm just trying to see. I'm just trying to see if like if just overall if the conversations that happen when foreigners aren't present, if Filipinos have a problem, if Filipinos have a problem with the mixing, I mean, or if it's like yeah, if it's just a few, but on the majority, everybody thinks it's fine.
Yes,
Yeah,
majority.
majority do. And okay, and how about age? How about age distances?
No, in the Philippines, age distance doesn't really matter.
I mean, and so you're 27. What is the oldest you would date somebody? What is the biggest
Um,
age gap that you would date?
for me, actually, I don't know
You
because
don't know.
I'm focused on the bond and the connection.
Yeah. So if you met a guy who was 27, if you met a guy who was 40 and he was nice and the connection was good, would you date him being that big of an age gap or no? Is that too much?
Yeah, just for me, it's fine. There's no
Yeah.
problem in it as long
Yeah.
as you understand each other, or
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And do you think, and as far as like Filipinos on the whole, do you think that they look down on, because obviously like I mean I've been
it's just that it's very just to share with you, it's
Mhm.
very rare for the Filipino as well that they, I mean, the man is younger compared to the girls,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
it
yeah.
happened as well.
Really?
Yeah. My dad's I mean my daughter's dad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. She's with 20 years gap with his partner right now.
Mm-hmm. Is
Yeah.
is
So it's
it's how
totally
old?
fine. There's no. It's like 40 plus.
And oh really? Wait. So she's 40 plus and he's 20 something?
Yeah. Yeah. 20 something.
Really? And she's and yeah, and that's completely fine too. So that even happens. So because
Yeah.
from
There's no problem.
from our perspective, everybody thinks that it's only like older men going to the Philippines and then like trying to find some young girl and and that it's that they're doing something wrong, right? And
No,
it's
it
like
happens to Filipino too, not just Filipino to foreigner.
really okay.
Yeah.
Well, and everybody. So really, as a culture, you guys really don't even view that as being that bad.
Mm-hmm. Not bad. So, for me, I'm not totally interested with movies or um some other topics internationally, but I'm very concerned in what's happening in reality in the Philippines.
Right, of course,
So
of
I'm
course.
more focused on that.
You're focused on the actual. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because you
And
can learn as well. You can learn from the experience of others, and then you can
mm-hmm.
understand how,
Yeah, yeah.
like for example, sharing your ideas. Is this normally happens to everyone like that? So if others respond that, yeah, it's fine because it happens to some people too. You're not just the one who are experiencing this kind of scenario or what.
So are Filipinos more like among say once again amongst yourselves? Are you more? Is it common to talk about like things that are going bad or hardships or what's happening in your life? Do you share that a lot with the people around you?
Yeah, as it's as aspiration, you know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, because here we don't we like if you're having a problem, you know what I mean? Like you we really don't share that with anybody. We're
Mhm.
taught to like just bury it away and don't talk about it, don't share it, don't do
Mhm.
anything. Hence why, like I said, I mean, I was sitting in my room by myself for
Yeah.
years, right? And
Mhm.
and just and it wasn't until I got through it that I realized how depressed and everything I was, right? Because I was just in
Mhm.
this like just mode, and there was nobody to share it to, so you just have to put a smile on your face and just keep going. And the number one response is nope, I'm fine, I'm good, you know what I mean? And I push real hard since then, all the guys that work for me and stuff like that, and I push all the time, and I tell them like, if you're not good, like
Mhm.
say something, right? Like
Mhm.
talk about it. Like it
Mhm.
just
Here,
dealing with
yeah.
that by yourself is no good. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, here in the Philippines, the Filipino people really loves to share their problems, so that and then they just take it as fun. So what they do, I cannot tell we because I'm not belong to them. So
Mm.
what they do is, especially those oldest month or oldest ladies who has their family and then has problem too, what they did is just to hang out with neighbors,
Mm-hmm.
friends,
Mm-hmm.
at the backyard, and then have drinks and then share their problems, something like that. And then the next day, it's all done. It happens already.
Yeah.
So move forward to the next life, or what will gonna happen next.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, move to the next. Yeah, see, and here, yeah, we don't do that. We just pack it all away. Don't tell anybody about it, and just you know what I mean. So it's like,
That
yeah,
really ruins the mental health, Sean.
well, yeah, because mental health here. So anybody like having mental health, like we've gotten a lot better at it in the last like 10 years or so. But
Mhm.
up until 10 years ago, like mental health was, especially for men here, was completely ignored. Like it was like didn't exist. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? I realized that I had a lot of anxiety and a lot of things going on, and but it was so not talked about here that I didn't even realize that that's what was going on
Mhm.
until I just thought, oh, this is my own weird stuff happening in my head. I had no
Mhm.
idea about it because we didn't even discuss those kind of things, and
Mhm.
we're like pushed like you're less of a man, and you're less of this and less of that if you are struggling, right? If you're
Mhm.
not just saying I'll deal with it, I got this, then you're considered like negative or bad in some way or weak or less. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And it just becomes like this crazy cycle that we all get stuck into
Mhm.
here. So yeah, it just it happens all the time that way, and I think that's and how is it for Filipino men? Do there's another what do so back to what we were saying. Do Filipino men have a problem with foreigners coming over there and dating Filipino women? Do they say stuff about it?
No, they don't. And by the way, about men's mental health, Sean,
Yeah,
it
yeah, yeah,
also
yeah.
happens here in the Philippines because some men doesn't like to share their problems to others too. So um, in my deep understanding as a woman,
Mm-hmm.
they hold their pride just to share, because they stand as the main character of the family.
Right, right, right,
So they
right.
don't want to share it to the family itself or within the family. They share
Oh,
it
so
to friends, fellow men.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Would see, but here, that's what I mean. In here, we don't have, we don't have those bonds, right, with other men,
Mm,
right? So we don't even share. That's what I mean. We don't share it at all. We don't share it with
mhm,
our families. We don't share it with our friends. You know
mhm,
what I mean? Like, You could be having the worst time of your life and you wouldn't tell anybody. You wouldn't say
Uh-huh.
anything to anybody about it. So do you think Filipino men on a regular basis actually um share that kind of stuff with their friends? Do you think they actually talk about it?
Yeah, they are.
Really? See,
Yes.
that's so crazy to me. The whole concept of that is crazy, and that's something that I like.
And
Even
Filipino
though,
is very they're very open to discuss things
yeah, see, and
without
that is
discrimination with
right.
fellow. There is discrimination, but it's not I mean most of um Filipino they understand because
Really, see,
that's
and
how life works.
right, and that's what I mean. Like, I have, I still, even to this day, even though I know it's not good, I struggle with that. Right, I struggle with being able to do that, but I work very hard to be open about that kind of stuff. But I don't. But at the same time, I'm working very hard. But the problem is, in my case, right, that I even if I'm as hard as I'm working to be, so I'm coming to more terms with how I feel, right? But
Uh-huh.
I don't. I still, even here now, I don't have anybody to share it with, right? There's nobody. Just because I'm becoming more okay with sharing it, right?
Uh,
I don't have anybody. I'm there's not a close enough bond here to
uh-huh.
be able to. There's no opportunity to share
Uh-huh.
that kind of stuff with that you might be struggling with something or having a problem with something. There's nobody. Yeah, there's nobody to listen here. And then and I'm sure a lot of people, like even people that know me, and I'm sure there's some people that I'm friends with that would be like, oh yeah, you could share it with me, right? But
Uh-huh.
it's so
They don't
weird
really mind it.
but it's that our culture is so weird that even the friends that I do have that I think would be okay with it, there's
Uh-huh.
never an opportunity to do that, right? There's never an opportunity. Like, I could never pick up my phone and just call somebody and say, hey, I'm really struggling right now. You know what I mean? Like it just wouldn't even happen. It's not even like a thing. Like, so it's
Uh-huh.
very, and I think that I think you see it all online all the time right now. Men's mental health here in the United States is terrible, like absolutely terrible. Mental health is terrible. Um, and yeah, and I think that's the reason. Well, I think overall, it's the yeah, I think that's one of the biggest problems going on in the United States. Hence why we have all the crazy
Yeah, that
shootings
also
and
happens some men in the Philippines, Sean, to those men who are afraid to share their problem to anybody or who doesn't have friends to trust with,
right,
you know.
right. And do you think that Filipino men are as separated and have the same loneliness problem that men do here, or do you think that they don't?
There is few, but I cannot tell if all of those men who are separated with their partner is encountering some mental health issues too.
Right.
Because yeah, some others really want to just have fun as well, and
Right.
then go hang out with girls.
That's right. What's but that's also a big thing. Like, is there? I don't think it's possible. Like, a man can always find companionship in the Philippines. I think so. I think that any man, like, there's
Mhm.
always female companionship to be found if that's what you're looking for. I think that everybody, even Filipino, whether you're Filipino, whether you're foreigners, I think there's always companionship to be found. I mean, would you agree with that?
Yes,
Yeah, see,
that's right.
and here, no, because everybody is too caught up with they're caught up with too many like superficial things. You know what I mean? They would
Mhm.
a girl here would rather have a guy that looks a certain way, and even though he's cheating and lying and being terrible, they would
Mhm.
rather have that guy than a guy who doesn't look as good as that guy that would treat her great, but she would but
Mhm.
because of the appearance,
Mhm.
That's all that matters. And the other guy who would treat her great,
Mhm.
she's not even interested. I like there's like a whole thing here that guys who are average, an average guy or below, like they just have no interactions with women, or very very limited, like very very limited, can go like a
Mhm.
whole year without even
Mhm.
being able to find a date, a whole
Mhm.
year.
Well,
And
actually,
it's
Sean, when it comes to hanging out or looking for a best partner, like let's say for example, because you want to settle down in the Philippines, if you really want to know your future partner too, well, I can tell you that the Filipina loves to be taking care good or treating Filipino well.
yeah.
Yeah, they love that.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, yeah. But
Mhm.
like, but would you like? But so I in my experience, I think that the Filipinas are less concerned with the look and more concerned with the person.
Exactly. That's right.
I think that seems to be like a very common theme, and I think that's what one of those things that really attract Western men
Mhm.
over to the Philippines. That's one of the biggest things, is that
Mhm.
that you can be, that I think that I mean, once again, this is not universal. I get it that there's bad people in everything, but
Mhm.
I think that men, can go there and and find, and find somebody, like, right,
Mhm.
and be able to find somebody that they're actually attracted to, and so on and so forth. They just can't get that here. They can't,
Mhm.
that's not even like an option for us here,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
um
And by the way, Sean, girls in the Philippines is very sensitive, just so you know. They don't
very
want to yell
sensitive.
the yeah, they don't want to yell that at, you know.
Oh, get yelled at.
Yes,
Oh, yeah,
they don't want
yeah.
that.
Well, yeah,
They cry easily.
really,
Well, yeah.
yeah.
Well, there's also girls who wants to be I mean wants to argue.
Yeah.
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 But most of girls in the Philippines is very sensitive.
Really, really.
Hmm. Especially if you found a partner which which came from a very family oriented.
Right, right. And what I find is almost like, it seems like even you, right? Like, so you're a girl that lives in like the big city now, and
Hmm.
and works in has worked in call centers and with Western people and all kinds of stuff, like that. But it seems like every girl, even the ones that are in the city, the vast majority actually all come. It seems like everybody comes from the province and then comes to the city. It's
Yeah.
like I have yet to meet one Filipina that actually was from the city. Period. Like that's where they were born there and raised there, and that's where they're
Hmm.
from. I've never met one so far. Every single Filipina, even in the bars and the nightclubs, they're all like, "Oh yeah, I'm from some
The province.
crazy province somewhere way off where there's barely electricity and there's no running water and all
Hmm.
kinds of, and now they're in the city." But
Hmm.
it almost seems like there's nobody that's actually like from the city, not girls. Anyway, it seems like I haven't met, like I said,
The
I haven't met
reason
one.
why, yeah, the reason why, Sean, because being paid in the city is very different being paid in the province. We have the provincial rate in the Philippines, and the what do you call that? The city paid,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So you'll be compensated well compared to working at the provinces. Well,
Yeah.
there's also some um provinces that they don't want to go in the city because it's very expensive,
Right.
you know,
Right. Right. Right.
compared to
Right.
living
In the province. Yeah.
in the province. So
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
they did is just to work remotely, like what Bebe is doing.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, but
Yeah.
she actually lives in the city as well.
Mm-hmm.
But she's
Yeah.
just home at the moment. But
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, she actually lives even her like, and she's somebody who's like super, yeah, like going to school and doing all this stuff. But she's
Mm-hmm.
from the same place as you, from the
Mm-hmm.
backwoods of nowhere in the province, right? But is back, but goes to the city, and I get that there's just more money. Like, is there any good jobs in the province, or is there only
There
good
is like
jobs in the city?
working or part of the government employees.
Government. Right, 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 right,
Yeah.
right, right.
Like teachers, like police,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, as long as it's connected with the government, they are earning a good pay.
Good pay. And what is considered a good pay in the Philippines?
Well, I cannot tell. Depends.
Well, okay, so let's start with in the province. Like, if you're make what a monthly salary, what would be considered a good monthly salary to like have to like have to have a girlfriend or a wife and a kid? What how much money should a man make in the Philippines to be considered like good money?
I don't know because my brother's friend,
Mm-hmm.
which is working, I forget the the term, but it's, let me remember. I don't remember the term of the work, but it's part of government employee.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well,
Um, I'm trying to remember it, but it's
Well,
all.
it's not even. I'm less concerned about what the job is and just how much money is considered like okay, well, you're making good money in the province.
It's like 6 digits.
6 digits,
Yeah,
like over 100,000 a month.
yeah.
Really?
Hmm.
But,
As long as you're associated with the government,
yeah, okay, right, right. I get that, but I mean, like, but so, I
but
mean,
not all. I
but
can not
right,
all. Depends on um what do you call that? The designation.
right, right. But what's the average amount of money a guy would make in the province?
Like that starts with 25.
25 is like the starting in the province.
Mm-hmm. Teachers, something like that.
Yeah, and but how about like okay, but I mean obviously there's like
If you're
in
not,
if you're not working for the government, how much is a guy making in the Philippines?
oh, it's so bad. Like um 10,000 a month is already huge from them. Like
10,000,
for them. Yeah.
10,000,
10 to 15.
10 to 15,000. And is that can you
But the
live
good thing is they're not renting.
can you live on 10 to 15,000 in the province?
No. I would be honest, no, I cannot. If you'll be asking me personally, I
Mm-hmm.
cannot.
You cannot. But a lot of people do live at 10 to 15,000 in the
Mm.
province.
Those who did not graduated.
Mm. Mm. Like a person in
I
the
mean,
pro
there's no discrimination in it
Right,
because
right, right.
we
No, it's not.
are
Yeah, yeah. It's not. That's not. We're not
taking
looking
the
at it.
path of,
Yeah, we're not looking at it as bad. We're just looking at it as
mm,
like just this is just what it is. So you think
yeah,
that you think
reality.
yeah you think that but you think that somebody who's making 10 to 15,000 a month is a not like they're still able to live and get by.
Yeah.
Really, really. And then in the what's like the low pay for somebody in the city?
Somebody in the city, it's 20.
20.
Mm-hmm.
And then what? So and then
15 to 20. That
15.
starts with 15,000 to 20.
Okay, and then in the province, what like at what number is do you think it's like? Oh, this they're making good money in the province. Like what
Yeah,
number do
the
you think
same
is
what I've
good?
mentioned.
What do you think like enough money is in the province? Like enough.
Like 6 digits.
6 digits is that's when it becomes enough.
Mm-hmm.
Mm. And then how about in the city?
Well, in the city, it depends because most of um employees in the city wants to do their I mean to have their business. But if we're talking about normal people,
Mm-hmm.
the average is like around 40 to 50,000.
40 to 50,000. Okay. So 40 to 50,000 in the city, and you think that about the same for the province. 40 to 50,000 is when that's like the average.
But if you're
Of
newly
the-
graduate, you cannot earn that much.
No, 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 no.
There's still I mean company it really matters to them the experience.
Yeah, 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 yeah. But
Yeah.
how do you get
The
experience? How do
compensation
you get
really matters.
experience if you've never had a job?
Yeah, exactly. That's me, Sean. I did work when I was a student.
Mm-hmm. Ah,
So I
okay.
could have yeah, I could have the experience of working.
Mm, mm. And when you were a student, did you get paid a lot less? You just almost nothing as a student?
Um I was being paid good because I was working in McDonald's. So McDonald's is an international company, right? So
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Ah, you worked at
that's the good thing
You
about it.
worked at McDonald's, huh? How long did you work at McDonald's?
I work in McDonald's like 7 to 8 months.
Oh, it's not even that long though.
Hmm.
Oh,
Because
okay.
that was a working student. I started when I was fourth year college.
Ah, and before then you didn't work at all.
No, I haven't.
See, that's also crazy here. Like here, like well, it's kind of different now because but like when I was a kid, everybody worked. You know what I mean? I started working when I was still in junior high. I did work, right? I like started doing like stuff for the people in my neighborhood and started, our whole system was completely different. And by the time I was like 17, I had like real job, by the time I was 17. And I've always had a job regardless of what it was, but I've always had a job somewhere since I was 17.
Mm-hmm.
Always. But I didn't get my first like I guess I always look at it like I didn't get my first like grown up job, like adult job until I was like 30, until I was about 30 when I got my first like real grown up job. Before then I was doing I had a bunch of fun
Part
jobs.
time.
No, I was full time, but they were all just fun jobs.
Ah, okay.
They weren't like yeah, like
A serious one.
not professional, right? I mean, like
Oh yeah, yeah.
I was a DJ. Even I was a professional DJ, but
Really?
yeah, for 15 years.
Wow.
Yeah, 15 years with doing that.
That's so yeah, that's
Yeah,
long.
yeah, and then but yeah, and I worked for like game companies and things like that. So I even though I was working all the time, but they were like fun jobs. They weren't like serious, real important types of things. They were actually just
Mm-hmm.
playing around. So yeah, it took me a long time before I actually started doing something that mattered. I guess you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then that's so weird. Like almost nobody here doesn't have their first job. So I mean that means you didn't have your first job till you were like 20 something, right? Like 20,
Mm-hmm.
23 or something, right?
Well, me, after I graduated, I entered a local corporate in the Philippines.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I'm handling purchasing. So um I was assigned as a purchasing assistant,
Mm-hmm. Okay.
and
Okay.
it's IT company.
And how long did you work there?
I worked there like 3 years.
3 years. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Oh, okay. But you really,
it's almost 4 years.
I keep forgetting that you're only 27. So you haven't even really been working that long.
I've been working that long already since I was 18 years old.
Oh, since you're 18? Well, but still.
Yeah.
But still. So when I say not that long, like for me, right? Like that means you like your total work time has only been like 9 years that you've been working,
Yeah.
right? For me,
Compared to you,
yeah,
it's
compared to me, I know I don't look that old, but I'm an old man already. So yeah, it's very different for me. But yeah, like I keep forgetting that you've only been working for so many years. You're not really yeah, you don't have like some big long career thing that you've been doing for. So you're still doing that bouncing around from one job to another, like figuring out where you want to be and what you want to do. And you had a kid at how old? How old were you when you had a kid?
Um, I'm 21.
When you were 21. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. That's not bad. That's not bad. That's okay.
21.
That's okay.
I'm not ready during that time, but things happen already. So
Of
yeah,
course.
I cannot blame myself.
Of course. Of course. That's okay. That's okay. And all right. Well, yeah, that's fair enough. And let's see. What else do we got? What else do we got to go on for today? Oh, you know what, man? Yeah, wow. Yeah, I guess it's we've already done an hour. Did you know that? I didn't even
Yes,
realize
we
it.
did.
I didn't even realize that we did an hour already. See, that's very good. We actually did a whole hour, so I was gonna be like, oh, what else should we go into? But you know what? I'm happy with it. Between, yeah, I think our conversation went well. I think I feel better about it today than I did over the last one.
Compared to last time, right?
Yeah, you know what? See, that's what I keep telling everybody. You know, like just hang tight with us, and we're gonna get it together. You know, it might take us, a couple of months or something to get our feet under us, but I think we got something going on. I think we can figure this out, and it's not try to push things or anything like that. Just try to just make it come natural and all that good kind of stuff. I think that. Our topics are good and what we're trying to get across I think is important
Mm. Mhm.
and yeah and I think we're doing good and I'm like I said I'm really happy with it. Are you happy with today's
Yes,
podcast?
I do. Even though I encounter some issues
Hey, listen,
on my end, you know.
you know what, everybody, like I said, anybody who is thinking about coming to the Philippines or knows anything about the Philippines would like, you know what, if there's little breaks in it and we have to do little jump cuts because our podcast because we're doing it remotely, everybody will understand. And if you don't, then really the Philippines isn't for you. Because if that's what makes you mad, the Philippines isn't for you because you'll be crazy about the brownouts and the internet being down or whatever. So yeah. So get
We
over
still
it.
have a lot of things to explore in the Philippines, Sean.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, well, I think we're at a good point for our second episode, and we'll be back everybody next week. Make sure you check out all of our podcast on YouTube. Well, it's not on YouTube yet, but it's going to be on YouTube by next week. So YouTube and Spotify and everywhere else you can find podcasts, you'll be able to get this eventually as soon as we get all the technical stuff worked out. But
Hmm.
thank you again, Marilyn, for another great episode, and we'll be back next week. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, thank you so much, as well, Sean. I really appreciate it. You know,
Absolutely.
because now, while we're doing the conversation,
Hmm.
I was able to know more about Western people too. You
See,
know,
that's what
the perception, yeah, perception has changed from time to time.
that and that is exactly what the point of this is. The point is bridging the gap, right? That's kind of the whole point is about
Exactly.
talking about things and bridging the gap, helping both sides understand a little bit more about how we think and how we feel and making everybody move forward, right? Right.
Right.
Okay, Marilyn, we will catch you next one and goodbye everybody and we will see
All
you
right. Thank
next
you so
week.
much, everyone. Bye bye.
Bye-bye. Aha. Ha 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 ha. There we go. Oh, I forgot to stop it. I did that. I forgot to